Senator Bill Ingebrigtsen carried the bill in the Senate that allows prosecutors to carry firearms in a courthouse. He's here now to discuss a little bit about the impact of this legislation. Thanks for joining us, Senator.
Thank you for having me.
It's safe to assume, of course, that this law aims to give an extra layer of protection to prosecutors. So in your opinion, it's signed, it's in law. Is it enough?
Oh, I think it is. It gives them the opportunity, their discretion, of course, to carry the weapon. They have to go through the same procedures a citizen does to get a permit to carry in the state of Minnesota. But why this came forward is pretty straightforward and clear in my mind. That not only do law enforcement deal with folks who potentially are going to be locked up or could potentially be incarcerated for life, which is a very big decision. These are tough decisions that have to be made not only by law enforcement but also the prosecutor. The prosecutor is if you will, the last stop before the judgment on somebody's case, and that can be a very potentially dangerous position, making those types of decisions. And case in point, up in Cook County this year in our own state, where a prosecutor was shot numerous times there. This affords them the opportunity, if they want, to be able to carry a handgun to protect themselves while they're in court or while they're doing their functions.
You were a sheriff. You spent it's fair to say you spent a considerable amount of time in a courthouse.
Yes.
Are they safe enough? I guess the argument was made that it doesn't go far enough to protect everybody inside a courthouse.
Well, let me bring you back to 1978 when my dear friend and my partner at that time actually was murdered by a person that actually stood in front of the judge and had four guns on him at the time. That was a walk-in violation at that time. It was a DWI violation, and the person came in, and at that point in time we didn't check everybody coming through this court system. You might even have had grandma coming in to pay for a stop sign violation, so it just wasn't the norm. It wasn't the social thing to do. That just tells you that at any given time the public officials are in danger. Now they're secured a little bit better. However, not all courthouses, even to this day, still don't have metal detectors at the door. So somebody still could be walking in with a weapon, whether it be in their purse or on their body. So again, it affords them the opportunity. The judge still has the discretion, by the way, in this bill, as you know, to say no, there will be no guns in the courtroom, but that's going to be something that they have to make that decision, and the officers of the court, which a county attorney is, would have to abide by that.
Okay. Excuse me, Senator. Let's shift gears entirely to another bill that you're carrying, the Game and Fish bill.
Sure. Yeah.
It was on the Senate floor early in the week, and as of this taping, it was laid on the table. Let's talk about some of the measures in it, first of all.
Sure.
We did talk to you a few weeks ago about the fee increases for hunting and fishing licenses. You had indicated you thought there was broad support for it. Brought up some debate on the floor. Were you a bit surprised?
I was a bit surprised. This being a governor's initiative, obviously it's his DNR. He oversees the DNR. This bill was brought forward last year, as you recall, and I and my counterpart in the House said we would carry that bill the following year because of the $5.2 billion deficit. We didn't think it was, well, we're pretty sure that we wouldn't have had enough votes to pass it. Now with the economy coming back, the state in a little better financial state, and we're with our word, we said we would carry the bill. I didn't think it would be any partisan politics involved in this. It certainly ended up being that. It's really unfortunate. I don't think the hunting and fishing folks, I don't think you can decipher whether there's a Democrat or a Republican on a boat when you're fishing or hunting. So I thought this was one area we could actually, in general, have a lot of fun with the Game and Fish bill. It generally is, and it's very bipartisan, always has been. And it became very partisan on the floor yesterday. It was very obvious to me, and that's really unfortunate because the folks that want the fees increased come to us. 60 different groups in the state of Minnesota involved in memberships of 100,000, thousands of people came forward and want their fees increased. That doesn't happen too often in government. They don't come to ask for increases. They want that increase. It is a fee, it is not a tax, and it's really unfortunate it got stalled the way it did yesterday.
And let's talk a little more specifically about the conservation fishing license. Senator Tom Bach did make an impassioned plea on the Senate floor to maintain this license. It provides, it really ultimately means that somebody has agreed to take in a lower harvest.
That's right.
And so you stated that the climate of hunting and fishing has changed and that people don't necessarily go out and shoot to capacity and catch as many fish as they did in the past. So where did this all come from?
Well, this came from, it was a Bach initiative. Senator Bach brought this to the DNR some years ago as a conservation license. It's a great idea. The DNR just brought it forth this year because it hadn't been selling any licenses. I had 2 different conversations with Senator Bach about that. He was very disgusted with that, and I said, well, I'd be open to an amendment. In fact, I'm going to have an amendment drawn up for you to go ahead and offer it. It is your initiative. You can get up and talk positive about it. I have no problem with that. In fact, there was a SCOI amendment that I was offering to take a couple other different amendments on the bill. We were going to be moving forward. He chose not to do that on the floor yesterday. In fact, I even lent my hand out to Senator Bach to say, if you want to offer that amendment, it's ready for you to do that. And he refused. So at that point in time, it was, according to his demeanor on the floor, he definitely wanted that bill to fail, and 76% of the Democrats voted against it.
Let's move forward with the wolf management portion of the bill. Do you think that's also been highly controversial?
No, not really. Actually, the emails that we've been getting from the folks out there haven't been from Minnesota so much as they've been from outstate as well as out of the country. So there's a large group of people out there, and I appreciate the fact that they love wolves. There's people that love bear. There's people that love white-tailed deer. The management of wild animals always comes into some discussion. There's no question about that. I mean, you look at a beautiful little fawn-spotted deer. You know, you see that thing out in the wild. You think, boy, you know, it's a terrible thing to have to manage. But that's what the DNR's responsibility is to manage. And when they get to be too many animals, we have to harvest some animals. We have to manage it. The wolf management plan was put together 10 years ago with the idea, the possibility of the gray wolf or timber wolf, what's referred to, is coming off the D list. They would hit the road running. That didn't happen 2 to 3 different times. It was actually brought back with by court action back to the D list. It now has been delisted. The wolf management plan is ready to go, and the 5-year moratorium is where the contentious issue seems to be right now.
Okay.
And that was taken off last year on a 65-0 vote in the Senate.
We're just about out of time, but Senator, what's next for this bill?
You know, we're going to have some consultation with the governor and Senator Bach, and if they're serious about passing this game and fish bill, which I hope they are, because I think the citizens are asking for that, they're going to have to work in some negotiations with me to move forward. Otherwise, there's no sense in bringing it forward if it's going to fail. So.
Okay, Senator Bill Ingebrigtsen, thank you for your time.
Thank you so much.